We're now 3 episodes into She-Hulk Attorney-at-Law, and the Marvel Cinematic Universe has probably never gotten this weird, or this entertaining. Jenna here, ready to break down the biggest Easter eggs and Marvel comic references in Episode 3 of She-Hulk. So make sure you're subscribed to the Phase Zero YouTube channel, and let's dive in! First and foremost, the episode contains one of the most surprising Marvel cameos yet, with Megan Thee Stallion factoring pretty heavily into the plot. Dennis Buck Bukowski, who you can learn more about in our Episode 1 breakdown, gets catfished by Runa, a new Asgardian light elf who is impersonating Megan. This is Megan's second time being involved in a superhero adaptation, after she and Normandy's Diamonds was the lead single of 2020's Birds of Prey soundtrack. It's also the latest in a long history of real-life musicians appearing in Marvel books, including the Fantastic Four going to a Beatles concert in 1964, Eminem teaming up with the Punisher in 2009, and Kiss crossing paths with Howard the Duck and even fighting Dr. Doom in 2 1977 issues. Runa the catfishing light elf is tied to her own unique Marvel history, with the light elves previously being hinted at in Dark World and Ragnarok. The residents of a realm called Alfheim, the light elves boast an array of unique cultures and a peaceful way of life, which often backfires on them as their palaces and even whole swaths of their people have been wiped out in previous Thor runs. They did get revenge though, teaming up with the Punisher and forming a rifle brigade during 2019's War of the Realms. Through the Runa storyline, we get a hilarious callback to Thor Ragnarok when we learn that Odin's philosophy of
Asgard is not a place. Never was.
Is definitely not admissible in court. We also get introduced to another lawyer at GLK&H, Mallory Book, played by Renee Elise Goldsberry. A pageant queen turned lawyer dubbed the face that never lost a case, Mallory is Jen's biggest rival through the She-Hulk run of the early 2000s, as she doesn't see eye to eye with Jen as a lawyer or as a superhero. Eventually, Mallory becomes a partner at the firm while secretly working with Fourth Wall Enterprises, a malicious organization that's trying to ruin She-Hulk's reputation. She does have a soft side though, entering into a love triangle with the Fantastic Four robot Awesome Andy and the Wild West superhero Two Gun Kid, and later hiring Jen to her new law firm in the most recent She-Hulk run. As Jen deals with Abomination's parole hearing, she calls Wong as a key witness, proving that the Wong cinematic universe is in full swing, but not before Jen reminds the audience that we're not going to get a big cameo on the show every week. That sequence is made even more hilarious by the fact that Jen's car keeps driving when she's breaking the fourth wall, which I'm just going to take as an homage to Jen's self-driving flying car that US Archer gives her during the sensational She-Hulk era. Outside of the prison, a newscaster asks Jen whether or not she got her She-Hulk powers from a mob hit gone wrong, a clever reference to her comic-accurate origin story when goons working for Nicholas Trask shoot her to get revenge, and Bruce has to give her a life-saving blood transfusion. Speaking of goons, the end of the episode introduces us to the MCU's version of the Wrecking Crew, who attacked Jen with a series of silly weapons outside of her house. In the comics, the Wrecking Crew are a quartet led by the Wrecker, a construction worker turned criminal whose crowbar accidentally gets enchanted when he's mistaken for Loki. In a freak lightning storm, the Wrecker recruits 3 other prisoners, Bulldozer, Piledriver, and Thunderball, in his crusade, and they get superpowers and absurd weapons of their own. In this episode, that's a little simplified when the group just says that they robbed an Asgardian construction worker, but hey, still works. And finally, when the Wrecking Crew escaped the scene after getting their butts kicked by Jen, we learn that they were trying to get a sample of her blood for the boss, who won't be happy that they failed. This is definitely going to spark some theories that the leader, possibly even the one played by Tim Blake Nelson in The Incredible Hulk, might be coming back into the fold in She-Hulk. After all, if there's 2 things that the leader loves in the comics, it's performing experiments on Hulk blood and recruiting random villains to do his bidding. Overall, She-Hulk Episode 3 might be one of the wildest pieces of television Marvel has ever put out, in all of the right ways. The episode combined modern pop culture with obscure Marvel canon in the way that She-Hulk comics have been doing for decades, and I cannot wait to see what else is in store. What did you think of She-Hulk Episode 3? Do you have a favorite Easter egg from the episode? Share your thoughts in the comments below, tweet them my way at HeyIt'sJennaLynn, and don't forget to subscribe to the Phase Zero YouTube channel for all your latest Marvel updates.